Absolutely. Important job there. All right, let's go ahead and get started with a look at the forecast, guys. Doppler radar quiet across the entire desert Southwest. There is nothing out there in the way of showers. And again, we are keeping a very close eye on the Doghead fire this morning. At this point, conditions favorable for firefighters. Temperatures have dropped to about 37 degrees. The winds are calm. Humidity up to about 50%. But unfortunately, this is not how it's going to stay as we get into the later part of the afternoon. As the temperatures start to warm up, we're going to lose some of that humidity, and you'll notice the temperatures across the state a little bit cooler in some parts, especially further off to the west. We're down to 39 in Grants, 67 in Carlsbad. Up towards the north, we're in the 30s and 40s, so keep that in mind as you're walking out the door. But we're going to be paying very close attention and pretty much have our focus on that fire that we have burning in the Manzanos. Temperatures are going up, and this will pretty much be statewide, this trend that we're going through. 10 to 15 degrees above average. Moisture down, and this will be for most of the state except the southeastern plains. We're going to get to that in just a second, but high pressure starting to dominate here, and the winds going up. They won't be absolutely horrible, but still 35-mile-per-hour gusts. Not going to make it any easier for firefighters battling that Doghead fire. So again, very close eye on the conditions that we have to the east of Albuquerque. You'll notice they have issued a red flag warning. This kicks in early afternoon. Also got one up across southern Colorado here for those gusty winds and dry conditions. Now getting back to the temperatures, you'll notice we are warmer today. 93 is what I'm going with this afternoon. About 3 degrees warmer than yesterday, and we're going to continue to warm up over the next several days. Getting back to that exception that I told you about, southeastern plains, there is a shot at a few spot storms for you guys today. Chavez, Eddy, and Lee County. Not a whole lot in the way of coverage. The closer you are to that Texas state line, the better your chance of squeezing out some of those storms. Most of that will fire off in West Texas. So overall, this is our only hope for squeezing out some rain today. Everybody else, warm and dry, and this continues for the later part of the work week. High pressure starting to dominate here as we get into the weekend. This is going to keep us dry, but it's also going to skyrocket those temperatures. We're talking triple digits in many areas over the weekend. And keep in mind, we officially transition into summer on Monday, and it'll sure feel like it. Southern Colorado looking at a mostly sunny sky today with high temps in the low to mid 80s. We will pretty much stay in those low to mid 80s, but take a look at the weekend forecast. Durango, 90s by Sunday. Northwest, sunny and breezy today with 91 in Farmington, 92 out in Chinle, Dulce and Cuba in the upper 80s. Southwest, sunshine overhead with warm temperatures. We're talking upper 80s in Silver City and Quemado. The rest of us, mid to even upper 90s. Southeastern plains, we continue with the heat. 102 in Roswell, 104 in Carlsbad. We'll be watching for a few spot storms later on in the afternoon. Northeastern plains, mostly sunny and windy this afternoon with winds about 20 to 30, high temps in the 90s for most. We'll take you into the northern mountains where we have widespread 70s and 80s. Espanola, a little warmer at 90. Santa Fe from the mid 80s this week, playing on the 90s over the weekend. East Mountains, sunshine with winds about 15 to 25 out of the southwest. Wind gusts likely to top out near 35 miles per hour. Not a good situation for firefighters, but the metro area looking at high temperatures in the low to mid 90s. Sunshine overhead, winds about 10 to 20. 7-day forecast does show more of those 90s on the way Thursday, Friday, and then you'll notice those triple digits will come back for the weekend. Overnight lows pretty much staying put in the low to mid 60s. So we'll continue to fire off updates not only on conditions in and around the fire zone, but across the state on Twitter and Facebook.
I wish there was better news today.
I know, exactly. And as far as the smoke goes, because those winds will be south-southwest, they'll be out of the metro area, but everybody north of areas like Chillicothe and even portions of Moriarty, that's all going to head your way. So if you're easily agitated by that, heads
be
up.
Careful. Yeah, stay indoors maybe. All right, thanks, Kristen.